What's up everybody, my name is BVMSerious and welcome back to another Pokemon Go video. Today is day 2 of the Pokemon GO Tour Hoenn event. And from the looks of things, it looks to be like the same stuff that we got yesterday. Basically just more primal raids and Deoxys raids and rotational habitats. Because right now we're in the Blistering Sands habitat. And actually here's a Latios right now. I need to actually... Oh, okay. I'm not complaining, I just got another shiny. Alright, I'll take this. Yeah, so in yesterday's video, I actually got a shiny one there, so I didn't think I was actually going to get another shiny one now, so here we go. We're going to catch this thing. Alright, we caught another shiny Latios. This is a good way to start off the video. Check its stats at least. Better than the last one I got, so that's for sure. So I finally figured out what the whole S version is of Latios and Latios. It's basically one that's found in the wild and is really hard to catch. So I guess it would make sense, but I still don't understand why it showed up as a shadowy silhouette on my mini-map radar. So I still don't understand that part of it, but at least now I kind of know. So, and it's also kind of linked to the whole snapshot thing, because you do actually need to take a snapshot of one to get another encounter with a Latios or Latios, depending on the version you picked. So yeah, pretty much right now I'm spending all this time shiny checking literally everything I can, because today just seems to be a second chance of getting any shinies that we may have missed on day 1. So that's pretty much what today is going to be all about. And also hopefully we get a shiny unknown out of this. I think that'd be really cool if I got a different shiny letter unknown. And earlier too, I ended up getting another shiny Surskit. So now I'm at like 5 shiny Surskit all day. So that's pretty crazy. So hopefully, I think that'd be really cool if I got like another one and then had like 3 shiny families worth of Surskit. Oh yes, but anyways, we are actually going to dive back into the special research because I never actually finished it. And so we're now on the 5th set, which is activate Primal Reversion and defeat a Team Go Rocket Leader, which I ended up actually doing off screen because, you know, it was the end of the event and I just felt like doing it like that. Now, I didn't activate Primal Reversion immediately because of the fact that I didn't want to do it just for the research and then let that 8 hours of the time I could have used one of my Primal Pokemon, just let that go to waste. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to take a look at my best Kyogre that I've got, and then we're going to Primal Revert it. So, alright, here we go. We got this Kyogre here, and we are going to make it undergo Primal Reversion for the first time. So, boom. There we go. Used 400 Primal Energy to Primal Revert my Kyogre for the first time, and there it is. There's our Primal Kyogre. That Primal Kyogre is just so cool. But honestly, in the core games, if I had to choose between these two, I'd prefer Primal Groudon because of its ability. Like, if its ability existed in this game, like, Primal Groudon would just be so overpowered. Like, it would be crazy. And we have a ton of Aeron here and Cacneas and stuff. Now, I could have actually chosen Cacnea if I really wanted to, but I just decided I think Surskit is just a cooler looking shiny. And I'm actually glad I picked it, because now I have like a nice little small abundance of Surskit, like crazy. I'm also hoping to just get like other Hoenn shinies that I don't already have. Like, I'm still 1 short on Poochyena right now. We just had another Surskit appear. No, it is not shiny. Also, we have our field research breakthrough here to claim, so we're actually just going to do that real quick. So this will probably actually be the last field research breakthrough we'll claim before the new season begins. And we will see what our reward encounter is. I've been getting a lot of Delibirds, and speaking of Delibird, here's one right now. So this is pretty much all, like, this is pretty much like the only Pokemon I've gotten more of than anything else out of the other 5 that were available. So I ended up just getting nothing but Delibirds here. But I mean, I can't really complain too much, because I mean, Delibird's kind of out of season right now, and it also gives like 500 Stardust per catch. So yeah, we're not going to complain too much about this. And I also need more Johto Pokemon, so I'm actually kind of glad I got Delibird, so it kind of works out. Oh, I didn't even realize it was a Kecleon in this Pokestop. But do we get it? Oh, we do. Cool. But is it shiny, though? It is not shiny. I really would like a shiny Kecleon. That would be so awesome if I got that. It's kind of interesting how they implemented Kecleon into this game. I think that kind of makes sense. It prevents you from spinning the Pokestop or just interacting with it. I think that's kind of a unique way of doing it. Might be a little annoying, but it still works. I also ended up forgetting to bring the white charging cord that I usually bring to connect my phone to a charger. But fortunately, it's a good thing I actually kept a spare in my car, because otherwise, if I didn't have a charging cord to use, like, I would have been completely out of luck and this whole trip would have been very short-lived. So, because obviously playing Pokemon Go really drains my battery. So it seems that the Spooky Cipher tasks are the only way to actually get the Hoenn ghosts, which of course would be Duskull, Shuppet, Sableye, and of course the rare and sought after Shedinja. Anyways, we have the 5th set of the research done, so we are going to claim all these rewards here and claim the regular charged and fast TM here. And the last set is automatically completed for us, and I do know that this reward encounter here that we're going to be getting is actually a Spinda. So yep, unfortunately it's unfortunate that this is the only Spinda that we actually get out of this whole global tour event, which kind of sucks, because I was really hoping that there would actually be like Spinda tasks that we can get for a chance of getting a shiny Spinda. It's still a Spinda nonetheless, and it's very good for people who still need it for their deck, so we're gonna catch this. But anyways, that is pretty much it for the special research, so we are officially now done with that, and we're still obviously going to be catching some more Hoenn Pokemon here for our masterwork research. But for now, we're gonna be spending the rest of the event just doing like general shiny checking and doing a bunch more primal raids in hopes that I can get more primal energy for both Kyogre and Groudon. Okay, so checking in time, it is now currently 1:38, and we are almost out of the first full rotation of the second day of GO Tour Hoenn. So here at about 2 o'clock, we will start the second full rotation. So yeah, I know it's a big time gap from when I last filmed. So I basically just went from the first biome, which was Blistering Sands, to Eerie Mist, and then to Verdant Earth, and we are now currently in the Ancient Shores. And I also ended up teaming up with a couple other people in our Pokemon Go community and did a couple raids with them, and I've been loading up on more primal energy. But I now currently have 3 of my 10-kilometer eggs ready to hatch, and as I previously stated, these could either be Torkoal, Tropius, or Relicanth. So hopefully we'll get a shiny one, at least one of them. I'm hoping for Relicanth, so let's see. Any of these shinies, so we get a Tropius. So I ended up hatching another Tropius earlier. Get a Torkoal now. See a shiny? No. We get another Tropius, so ended up getting, so yeah, I now got 3 Tropiuses and a Torkoal now hatched out of the eggs. So look at the CP on this Wild Latios that I got, 911. Couldn't be any more funny than that. Please state your emergency. Yeah, I have a Latios that just ran away from me. I need you to go get it for me, please. Alright, so we are now currently in the second full rotation, starting off with the Blistering Sands biome once again, and I just got lucky and found myself my first ever shiny Cacnea. And as I just said, this is one of the brand new shinies that just came out with the GO Tour Hoenn event. So we have a Golden Raz on it and an Ultra Ball, and we are ready to secure this catch. I actually kind of like the shiny Cacnea. It looks cool. Oh, critical catch on shiny Cacnea. Even better. Alright, so we got the shiny Cacnea. Stats aren't too great, but it's a brand new shiny, so I am not complaining. Not even in the slightest. Alright, so we are now in the Eerie Mist habitat now, and on screen I actually have a shiny Absol. So I already have this shiny, but you know, it doesn't hurt to have another, and I just like the shiny. It's really cool looking. So we have a Golden Raz, and I'm actually stepping down to a Pokeball since it's relatively small, so I don't have to worry about it too much. And we're going to try and secure this catch. And now we have another shiny Absol. Absolutely. Also off screen, I got lucky and I ended up finding myself another shiny Latios. And I'll tell you what, these things are really good for something, because I must have spent at least over like 30 Golden Razes and just Pokeballs in general trying to catch this thing. And apparently, I guess that kind of proves one thing. I think the shiny variant of Latios, or Latios depending on the version, I don't think it can run away. So either I'm just really lucky that it stayed during all those catch attempts, or it just cannot run away. So I did get lucky and I did end up getting this Latios here. It's not great because, again, it came from the wild, but it's good to have. But honestly, I was actually near tempted to give up on this thing because of how many resources I was going through. And also off screen, I wished I had actually shown this off. I did actually get very lucky, and I hatched myself my dream come true from a 10-kilometer egg. This beautiful, just stunning shiny relicanth. It is beautiful. I love the blue on it. That's the main reason why I really wanted this shiny so bad, but I now have it. And that also means I don't have to go to New Zealand just to get this shiny. So, I mean, at some point in my life, I would like to go to New Zealand because I'll bet it's very beautiful over there. But I will say it's awesome to have one of the most rare shiny regionals out there. Okay, so we are in the final 30 minutes of the GO Tour event ever. So we are actually about to claim what could very well be the last event egg from this Pokestop, if we actually get an egg, that is. So let's see, what's it gonna be? Ooh, there we go, another 10-kilometer egg. That's what we're talking about. So I also noticed another thing too, and that is apparently, unlike the core games, you cannot have a primal reversion and a mega evolution at the same time, which kind of stinks. Because, I mean, of course, I think I could kind of understand why Niantic prevented this in the first place, because if you have both of those at the same time, it would just, like, break the game completely. So I think from that standpoint, it's very understandable why you can only have one mega or primal reversion at a time. So, but yeah, there we go. We just claimed our last egg, and we're actually about to do yet another primal Kyogre raid. And I figured I may as well, since I haven't shown any primal raids on screen, I figured I'll show off this one right now once the person that I'm going to be with invites me to it. Alright, so we are currently about to start this primal Kyogre raid, and we're going to see if we're going to be able to take this thing down. So, okay, apparently one person just jumped out. We at least need a minimum of 6 people to take this thing out, because primal Kyogre is definitely the tougher of the two between that and Groudon, as it doesn't have a double weakness, and the fact that its moves just pack a punch. So for a second, I ended up getting booted out of the raid and I couldn't get back in, but upon refreshing the game, I was able to do so. So I finally managed to be able to defeat the primal Kyogre, and let's see if this Kyogre is going to be shiny. No, it is not shiny, and it's also not Hundo either, but I mean, CP is still pretty decent. But we will go on ahead and catch this Kyogre though. Alright, we caught the Kyogre. Even if I lost this thing, it wouldn't have mattered because I got a bunch of Kyogres anyway. But anyways, that is pretty much it. There's only like 10 minutes left of the event, and I feel like, honestly, there really isn't a whole lot much more that I can do. So I will see you guys in just a bit. Okay, so now that the GO Tour event is completely behind us, it is now time to go over my shiny haul overall between both days. So, starting all the way from this Pikachu here and going all the way up to this Groudon here is my entire haul for both days. Obviously excluding this Rayquaza here, because I got this after day 1 of the GO Tour Hoenn event was over, and I did one of the many Rayquaza raids that appeared by me. And speaking of which, I saw another abundance of Rayquaza raids appear by me once again after day 2 of the event. And I still have no idea what the whole explanation is behind that. I kind of have to wonder if it might be a subtle indicator that maybe Mega Rayquaza might be on the horizon. I really hope so, because I'm kind of disappointed that it wasn't featured as part of the GO Tour event. It kind of makes sense at this point of the game, because Mega Rayquaza is very powerful, and it's definitely one of those Mega Evolutions that would totally break the game, especially Mega Mewtwo more so, but that's kind of irrelevant at this point. But you know what I mean. I mean, Mega Rayquaza is still cool, and I really hope that eventually it will get added into the game, even if it does take a lot longer than I hope. But anyways, yeah, I mean, unfortunately with a lot of these shinies, a lot of them are duplicates. But that's okay. I mean, some of them I could actually do like mirror trades for them. Obviously, like the Groudon and the Kyogre would definitely make wonderful mirror trades, especially with their signature moves that they got. And unfortunately, I didn't get any extra shiny Surskit. So a grand total, I got up to like 6 shiny Surskit. But I mean, that's okay. I mean, I got basically 3 shiny families worth of Surskit that I could help other people with, so that's always a big plus right there. I'm definitely thrilled about the Cacnea because that's a brand new shiny, and I'm completely amazed at how many shiny Latios I got out of the wild, but I ended up finding a 5th one, and by that point I finally just gave up on the Latios entirely because of the fact that it cannot run. I was starting to use up a lot of my resources, and by that point I was low on Great Balls and Ultra Balls and Golden Razzes and stuff, and I just didn't want to waste any more resources on a shiny Latios, especially if it's just going to keep breaking out and stuff. So at that point it just wasn't worth that for me. I would have had a 5th Latios if I had decided to go for it, but I just decided, I mean, with all the shiny Latios that I've got right now, it just wasn't worth it to me. However, I will say, if there's one shiny I am most impressed with out of any of these, it would definitely have to be this Relicanth here. Like, I am so, like, over the moon right now that I actually got this shiny. I mean, it's beautiful. I love the tint of blue on it. It's just awesome. So, grand total, I got about 20 shinies between both days. Obviously, excluding the Rayquaza, which would make 21, and that other Latios that I decided to skip out on, which could have also made up to 22 total shinies. So otherwise I got 20 shinies during the GO Tour time frame on both days, and I still have 9 event 10km eggs in these incubators, so hopefully I'll actually get lucky and hatch like a shiny Torkoal or a Tropius, or perhaps even another shiny Relicanth. That would be really cool. But anyways, it is now time for me to share my overall thoughts and opinions on the GO Tour Hoenn event as a whole. So just based off of my own observation, I did notice that there were some elements and aspects that were featured during GO Tours Johto and Kanto that just weren't available during GO Tour Hoenn. And in this respect, I'm actually quite disappointed. And one of the things I really want to point out is the fact that during the last 2 GO Tour events, we were able to get Community Day moves on the Pokemon that already had Community Days from those respective regions, but unfortunately for the ones of the Hoenn region, we were not granted that, and it's very disappointing. Like, it would have been awesome to potentially load up on like more Meteor Mash Metagross or even like another Outrage Salamence or something, because I definitely did try to evolve a Salamence during the GO Tour event thinking I could get it with Outrage, and it did not come with Outrage. So now one thing I think would have been really cool to see is if in the overworld we had actually gotten to witness like Groudon's like Desolate Land ability, or even like Kyogre's Primordial Sea ability take place in the overworld, and just see all the torrential downpour, or just like the severe drought in the overworld, depending on which team completed the most research tasks. Like, that would have been a very good reflection of just like how powerful Groudon and Kyogre really are, and it just would have added to like the aesthetic of like the overworld. It just would have made it so much cooler, and that definitely would have been something that would have made GO Tour Hoenn stand out from both Johto and Kanto. But of course, instead we just got the typical confetti like they do for like all the events. Now, I do love the fact that they decided to make the GO Tour event a 2-day event this year instead of just a 1-day event, because this gave players like myself another opportunity to try and shiny check Pokemon that we really wanted, whereas if we were just limited to 1 day, we wouldn't have that much of an opportunity at all. So I am really glad that they decided to make this a 2-day event. But another thing I also wanted to point out is the collection challenges. Yes, I'm glad that they decided to bring in the collection challenges with this year's GO Tour event. But I personally, in my opinion, I didn't really like how short they were, and I didn't really like the fact that there weren't as many. Unlike GO Tour Johto and GO Tour Kanto, like there were like the incense collection challenges where you had to collect all the Pokemon that you can only get from the incense, and like other Pokemon that you had to trade over from the other version. And there was the collection challenge where you had to evolve Pokemon into their evolved forms, and GO Tour Hoenn unfortunately just didn't have that. Which, I mean, to an extent, I look at this as both a good thing, and I also look at it as a bad thing. I'll look at it as a good thing because it's good for anyone that is on like a time crunch. Usually, like me, like when I'm doing a lot of the Pokemon Go events, because I'm usually on a time crunch, so it's pretty good to that extent, but it's also kind of a bad thing because I feel like it kind of takes away from the fun of like the collecting aspect of the event. And I also wasn't too fond of the fact that we were only able to get one single Spinda from the entire event. So I was kind of hoping that there would actually be like Spinda tasks during the GO Tour event that we could complete to get more Spinda, or even like a shiny one. And the only shiny possibility for a Spinda was at the end of the special research, and that was it. There were no more chances of getting a shiny Spinda after that, which was also kind of unfortunate. Of course, all these negatives aren't exactly enough to ruin Hoenn for what it is. Like, I still love everything about the Hoenn region and all of its Pokemon. I mean, like I said, Hoenn is definitely my second favorite generation behind Kanto. And, I mean, I will say that the GO Tour Hoenn event just wasn't, in my opinion, as good as the GO Tour Johto or even the GO Tour Kanto event. It just wasn't as good as either of those two. But I will say this, if there's one good thing that came out of the GO Tour Hoenn event, is the fact that we got both Primal Kyogre and Primal Groudon. Both of those Pokemon are huge game changers for the raid aspect and potentially even the Go Battle League aspect of Pokemon Go. Because both of these Pokemon, especially in their primal forms, are very powerful and will be doing a lot of damage to raid bosses. So yeah, I am very happy that both of these Pokemon finally got implemented, and I already know like I'm not going to be the only person going to be using Primal Reversion on both of these Pokemon like every single time for every raid that comes up. I'm definitely going to be utilizing the Primal Reversion function every single time. Well, obviously depending on what the raid boss is, of course. I'm not going to waste it on something that it's not going to be good for. I think the only other thing I wanted to point out about this event is that it's a shame that we didn't see the Hoenn Regionals in raids like we did in the previous GO Tour events. But, I mean, since I got the shiny Relicanth out of the 10-kilometer egg, I mean, I'm not complaining too much, but I still feel like these Pokemon would have been much more accessible if they were in raids. And that is the other thing I wanted to talk about before I wrap up this video, is, like, the raid pool as a whole. I mean, looking at the Tier 1 raids, obviously no one was going to want to do, like, a Trico or Torchic or a Mudkip raid when you can just, like, find them in the wild. And as for the Deoxys, I mean, it's decent, but I don't think I've actually gotten a single invite to a Deoxys raid. I was almost tempted to do a couple attack forms like on my own because it is easy to solo, but I decided I think my time would have been better spent just doing all the primal raids, and that was pretty much all I was getting invites for, was for the primal raids, because the two primal Pokemon just make a huge world of difference in the world of Pokemon Go. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to cover in terms of the GO Tour Hoenn event. I mean, I still loved this event despite all the negatives that came with it. I mean, I know to some people this event really wasn't appreciated, but I mean, I still liked it for what it was, and I'm glad I actually did it, because I definitely got stuff that I feel like I wouldn't have gotten if I hadn't done the event. And now that we are finished with the GO Tour event, I'm now going to be spending my time doing the Masterwork research, which oddly enough I got before the event started, so I will be spending a lot of my time doing that. And in the meantime, I am going to be looking forward to whatever the next season in Pokemon Go will be bringing us. And on that note, I think I'm actually going to go on ahead and I will end off this video right here. So anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this event and this video as much as I have. And as always, if you did enjoy, then please consider hitting that subscribe button down below. Also leave a like and a comment, won't hurt either. But anyways, that is going to be it for me today. I'm BVMSerious, and I hope you guys have a seriously amazing day. Also, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next season.